ॐ गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ जातवेदसे सुनवामसो ममराति यतो निदहाति वेदः स नः परुषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वानावेव सिन्धुं दुरितात्यग्निः ताम् अग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टां दुर्गां देवीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः। सुप्रभातं, नमस्ते, गुड मॉर्निंग। Yesterday we celebrated what's called Ayudha Puja. We are going through Dasara and I hope you are enjoying the Navaratri festival. Let us spend time to dwell and understand why do we do Ayudha Puja. Ayudha means tool, weapon or tool, something which we use for enhancing our ability. When you have to dig, you take a crowbar, because yes, you can dig with your hand also, but then crowbar enhances your ability to dig. Similarly, all types of ayudhas. And then Ayudha Puja is revering or paying our respects to these tools. The tools or the weapons which we use in our daily life. What is the significance? I mean, why do we have to do that? It is very funny. Sometimes foreigners say that, Indians worship the ant hill, on Nag Panchami, we go and then worship the ant hill, the mud. And then we worship the trees, and we worship everything, whatever you see, monkey god, elephant god, all, anything you see we worship. So sometimes we are perceived as brainless creatures, whereas our Indian mind is so very powerful. It elevates everything to the level of God. As it is said, you may worship picture as God, not God as picture. When we have Ma Durga there, it's only a representative of the Supreme Goddess. We are elevating even the picture to the level of the God. We don't bring, no, God is this, God is this statue, God is this. No, this statue is also God. There's a slight, very big difference in fact. It's not a slight difference, it's just a question of understanding. You are elevating even a stone to the level of the Lord. It is not bringing God down to the stone, but elevating, not the descent of the God, but the ascent of man, they say. It is ascending. That is the Indian mind, that is the Indian outlook. Very, very inclusive, and then we sort of have such a broad range. Now with that as a background, let us understand why we worship the tools and all the weapons which we use every day. In fact, in South India, the Mahar Navami, usually it is done on a Navami day. Though for convenience, we do it whenever we have. Today onwards holidays, so they did it out yesterday itself because everybody will be there. So for convenience, of course, we can do, but then it is generally done on Navami, Mahar Navami they call it. And in South India, it is combined with even Saraswati Puja. They put all our books in front of the deity and then worship them. So, what is the significance behind that? As I mentioned, first thing is we use these tools every day. They deserve our respect. They deserve our respect because they're enhancing our abilities to do work, to do things which generally are difficult by ourselves. And then, of course, the legend says that Ma Durga, as we have mentioned yesterday, this Navaratri itself is done because long ago, once upon a time, there was a Narakasura, that is Mahishasura, not Narakasura, Narakasura comes for Diwali, but Mahishasura, and then who was very, bad, and then he was causing trouble to everyone, and then gods have requested Ma Durga to help them, and she goes and she uses the weapons of all gods and then slays him on the eve of Mahanami, Vijayadashami, and then that is celebrated. That's the legend part of it. But if you take even, and then after that she gives those weapons which were used by Ma Durga are worshipped because they were very sacred and then were responsible for slaying such a wicked person. That's only the superficial meaning. And then when you even normally analyze it, it is enhancing our abilities, therefore we worship. The deeper meaning which the Upanishad says, it gives a beautiful analogy of the body. The analogy of the body is Shariram Rathanam Vidhi. The body is compared as a chariot. Chariot having Dashendriya. There's our body, as we know, Panchindriyas, Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas which are there. It is a chariot, a vehicle. Chariot is a vehicle basically. Vehicle having 10 horses to drive that. In the olden days, now we don't have these engines now. These are rathas, but then only in temples we have. Body is compared like a chariot with 10 horses. Horses mean our senses, our motor senses, and then the Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas. That's why Dashendriya, Dasharatha, the father of Lord Rama is called Dasharatha, Ratha which has Dashendriya. And then why big? You remember, horse is known to be very unsteady. It can never steady. Either it will keep flickering its ears or the tail. It will never remain steady, just like a monkey. So, horse is also a symbol of unsteadiness, symbol of very wavering nature. And then when they compare our body to be that chariot, which is run by the 10 horses, one horse itself will be so unsteady. When you have 10 horses pulling the chariot, unless they are controlled, you will not go forward. Each horse will try to go this way, that way. So what does the charioteer do? He holds the reins of those horses. Horses are put reins, the thread which actually controls them. You will see often that Krishna, Arjuna, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna sitting with his reins in his hands and then Arjuna behind him. Arjuna is supposed to be Krishna is supposed to be charioteer, Partha Sarathi. Sarathi is the charioteer. And then who sits in the chariot? The owner of the chariot. Of course, here the Arjuna sits there, and then the Krishna controls. The chariot is run by 10 horses. horses are controlled by the reins and the reins are controlled by the charioteer. And Upanishad tells beautifully, this chariot of the body is run by the 10 horses of the senses, the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, and the reins of this chariot, of these horses, is the mind. And the charioteer is the buddhi. Buddhi is the charioteer, the reins are the mind, the horses are the senses, and the body is the chariot. And who is the owner of this chariot? The owner who sits in the chariot is the Atma, the supreme, the divine consciousness, the soul inside is Karatma. This is the picturesque description which our Upanishads give. Understand carefully. How are the horses controlled? By the reins. They are pulled when the charioteer wants, when the command is given by the owner of the chariot to stop, what does the charioteer do? Charioteer pulls the senses, pulls those reins, and then horses know that they need to stop. And then when it wants it releases, and then they start. Now that is the type of beautiful analogy which is given. So our senses are controlled by the mind, and the mind is to be controlled by the buddhi. And buddhi, the charioteer gets the instructions from the Atman, the owner of this entire chariot. So very important that we understand that these senses are given to us, these organs, the motor organs and also discriminatory organs are given for us, for what? For taking the inputs from the external world. We interact with the world through the sense of touch, sense of hearing, sense of seeing, sense of, through all our organs, the 5 sense organs, we interact with the world. So we continuously take, these are sensors in the physics terms. These are sensors to pick up the information from outside. That information goes inside and is processed by the mind. The mind is the clerk which collects the data and then processes it. He just only collects the data and then puts them in the form. And then who is supposed to know what is good and what is not good? It is the buddhi, the discriminatory power. The office clerk only collects the data, the files which come, people come and give the petitions, people come and give different things in their form of applications. Mind, the clerk collects everything and he puts it to the manager. The manager is the one who decides, okay, this is granted, this is not granted, this is rejected, this requires refinement, and so on. It's the buddhi or the manager who actually tells you what is to be done, what is not to be done. Bring it back to our normal life. We get the signals. There's a fire and the hand goes without knowing. It goes near and immediately it senses it is very, very hot. The signals travel to the brain, the mind, and the mind says, oh, it's very hot. Buddhi says, don't go any further, you will burn yourself. Immediately it sends a signal, it tells the mind, and the mind immediately sends a signal, retrace. Immediately the hand is taken out. All this happens automatically. We don't even perceive that this is the action. But then you know this. When we eat something and you put something, it's bitter. Immediately the mind says, no, it's not good. The mind tells the mind, the buddhi tells the mind, and immediately you spit it out. All these things happen automatically. Every sense, the sense of touch, sense of hearing, we see bright light, immediately our eyelid close. Because it has its limitation. We hear loud sound, immediately we close our ears. All the senses have their limitation. It's a limited company. The body is a limited company. It cannot take unlimited input. So this input which is taken is processed. Mind takes it, buddhi should process and then gives orders to the mind to control the senses. Same, Sariram Pratanam Viddhi. Just like the body as a chariot here. So this body is an instrument. It needs to be worshipped during the Dasara. Coming back, the loop is complete now. So this Ayudha Puja, the significance of Ayudha Puja is that we worship the tools and the weapons which help us to be able to enhance our abilities. And then it is a symbol of the reflection of our own chariot, our own Ayudha. This body is only a tool which is given to us. But who are we? Who are we really? We are nothing but the divine, the universal consciousness embodied in this body. Just like when we blow the balloon, it keeps on expanding, expanding, expanding. You blow it to the full. So, until you tie it up. So, the air is contained in that balloon. The moment you prick the balloon bursts. The air inside is same as the air outside. Similarly, this universal consciousness which is there, which is embodied inside our body, like a balloon has its own hues, its own color. Some balloons will be in different heart shape, some balloons will be in different shapes, round and all that. It's the God's play. So each of us have the same consciousness, same soul inside us. We are not different at all. It is just that we have our own color, we have our own nature, our own propensities. That is the fundamental teaching of the Vedanta. The fundamental teaching, the entire quintessence of Vedanta is only this. You and I are one. As simple and as plain and as very, very pithy, very sharp as that. So that is the reason why the entire Bhagavad Gita, entire Upanishad wisdom, all that says is only just that. Tat Tvam Asti Prajnanam Brahma. There are 4 Mahavakyas which you need to by heart for your level exams, for your YAC exam and YCB exam. So, Tat Tvam Asi Prajnanam Brahma Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. I am this. And then when we realize what is the use of that, just by realizing what's a great thing for us. When you realize that you are only the spark of the divinity is all powerful. So you are also powerful. You have so much potential inside you. You can manifest that. And that is the basic lesson. That is the basic understanding we need to have when we do the Ayudha Puja. This body is only a chariot. It is lifeless. The moment life goes out of it, you are only sending to crematorium or shmashan. You cannot even keep body so powerful and so beautiful and so nice. The moment the life leaves, first thing they houses, what they say, put it outside. It is not even auspicious to be inside the house. It has to be kept outside. Such is this body. As long as the Shiva, as long as Ma Durga is there inside us, we are Shiva, or we are auspicious. Shiva is an auspiciousness. The moment that Shiva goes out of the body, then we become Shiva or corpse. It's very, very simple. So when that Chaitanya, when that is there inside us, we have to do our work properly. Though it appears to be very, very negative, but no, it is just understanding of this. That's why life is a celebration. Life should be celebrated. Life is a game played. Life is a dream realized. Life is love, share it. This life which is given to us is to be enjoyed. Our festivals are put not only eating good food, but then it is also in understanding the philosophy behind this festival. That is the beauty of Indian culture. It tells you the temporary, the transient, the ephemeral nature of the mind and the body and the world. At the same time it says, enjoy that. Enjoy this temporary, transient, ephemeral world, because this is also the creation of the Lord. All the time keep this in mind behind that this is transient, but still you have to be in the world. The world should not be inside you. There's a beautiful concept. With that we will close. The ship can be in the water. Water cannot be in the ship. Ship is in the ocean. Ship cannot be on the road. Ship has to be only in the ocean. But then, if the ocean is inside the ship, it will sink. So, ocean cannot be in the ship, but ship has to be in the ocean. In the similar manner, we have to be in this world which is cruel, world which is all sorts of wrong things which are there. We have to be in that world. Because you and me are also the product of the world. But then the world need not be inside us. We should not take the world inside us. Head in the forest, hands in the society. That's what the elders say. We have to be, if you want a peace of mind, no need to go to Himalayas. You have to be very much in the Bangalore city only, in the midst of all the chaos. Keep your head in the Himalayas, keep the body and all your senses only in the world. That is the beauty, and that is what Raja Yoga is all about. What Vivekananda tells is that it is, you have to live in this world, enjoy the world. Remember that this is transient. You are much beyond this. With that understanding, if we have it, the entire potential inside us can get manifested and we become so useful instruments in the society. May the Ma Durga bless us all with this understanding of, transient nature of this world. At the same time, through her grace, we understand even in this transient nature of the world, we can be extremely happy and then think of her. Hari Om Tat Sat.
मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग्